So today we're at the Centennial Gardens in Houston, and we're meeting with our photographer today, Brittany, and she's going to walk us through some of the popular locations for us to use for our engagement shoot. Super excited. Are there any particular colors? Because we've got a lot of different varieties of foliage over here. Are there any particular colors that you think photographs well or that are not good to have to the back?
No, they're all very beautiful. I love the greenery, and that's really what's dominant here.
Okay.
And then also really just depends on what the client is wearing.
Okay.
So if they're wearing neutrals, like what I would normally suggest,
Yeah.
then all of these would go really good.
Okay. That's a really pretty spot.
This is
right there
a
in the
really
middle.
pretty spot.
Yeah.
I love this spot. You can kind of move around if you want to get, if they
get
want
the
to get
best sun.
some best sun, but also like if we want some full-on shots, if we want to pose them, if we want candids, if they want to just walk and have me stand back a little bit and get you just have so many options with
I
this
think
spot
this
here.
would also be good for like a bridal shoot.
My suggestion for bridals is to always bring someone with you to
Yeah.
help you navigate,
I totally
help fix
agree.
your dress, help
Yeah.
keep your dress clean.
Yeah.
Usually mom or maid of honor,
Maid of
matron
honor.
of honor would be a great choice to help you as we're like taking shots. That way you don't have to worry about dragging anything.
Yeah.
You know.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
So, what do our clients need to do to book or reserve any of these spaces for the park?
So for this park in particular, there is a permit that's required. So if
Okay.
they're serious about this spot, they need to let me know as
Okay.
soon as possible
Okay.
so that I can go in and reserve or
Okay.
apply for the permit because
Okay.
it takes a few days to get an
Okay.
answer back.
Okay.
And then the permit itself is $146.
Okay, good to know.
So once they give me the approval, we have 48 hours to make that payment,
Okay.
or we have to start the process all the way over.
Okay.
So-
So they need to be pretty sure. What happens if it rains?
If it rains, then we don't get a refund, but they will allow us to reschedule.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of the really nice Houston parks can be overly saturated with, families and people wanting
Yeah.
to enjoy the park as well.
And it's a public space, so
a
you
public
can't
space.
make people get out of the way just
Yeah.
for your shoot. But
That's right.
it's something to be mindful of. The day of the week that you book it, probably, and the time of day.
as we were
And
able
that's
to
the
walk through.
Japanese garden, right? But I
That's the
think
Japanese-
you can't photograph
You
there,
can't
right?
So when I mean here, I mean like you see the arches here.
Yeah.
The black. We were able to get some really nice shots, and they were covered with like the greenery that's kind of
Yeah.
sprouting out. We were able to get wide shots of them walking along this way, but it
Okay.
was an overcast. So if it's during that season where we have like weeks
Yeah.
of overcast, we have full range to all the gardens
Okay.
to do whatever.
So I think kind of what I'm gathering or summarizing from you is it really just depends on the time of day and then the season and then that kind of, so people, if they want this park and it's beautiful and there are a lot of places to shoot, they still need to talk to you a little bit first because if they have their heart stuck on a particular spot, it may not work depending on what time they schedule the engagement shoot.
Yes,
Okay.
it may not work depending on the time of year because also the park closes at 7 and we
Okay.
have to be out by 6:45.
Okay.
Which means we would have to be here for an hour session at minimum by 5:30.
So today we are at our vendor letter 2 planning meeting with our photographer. And what vendor letter 2 is, it is literally a summary of all of the details that are included in each of our outside vendor contracts, which is super helpful because everybody's contracts look different and we want to make sure that it's all consistent and in the same format so that our clients can make sure that what they've requested is what they actually get. So at today's meeting, we're meeting with the photographer, and what we've already done so far, what we can check off our list, we have already had our engagement session. We've already received the beautiful images back, and we've used some of those same images from that engagement session and used those to create my client's website. So we've used it for that. They look gorgeous. It's getting their wedding guests excited for their event, so we're really happy and ready to go. But what we're gonna do, we're moving on from the engagement session to the actual day of planning. And what that's gonna consist of is going through the timeline that we personally have to get everything done for the wedding and making sure that it matches up with what the photographer has on her schedule to make sure that she has enough time to capture the images that she needs to capture. So we're gonna walk through all that. And then as a last sort of little secret that I like to provide for my clients, on their 1-year anniversary, I love providing these little coffee table books for them to just sort of recap the day for them. And I get such wonderful responses from my brides and grooms. They seem to really appreciate it. So I also use the images from our photographers. They're kind enough to give me the digital files as well. And I create these complimentary books to gift to our brides and grooms. So it's really helpful for us to plan in advance. I sort of know at this point, because I've done so many books, I already sort of know what types of images look really great and what images can be formatted really great on the platform that I use. So I like to have some sort of conversation or plan in advance for what photos we're gonna take on the actual day of so that I can reproduce them and make our brides happy. So looking forward to our meeting. So I've got, this is vendor letter 2. Okay, I'm gonna give you a copy of that. So this is just the draft that we've come up with. Once we edit it and make sure everything is good, I'll update it and I will email you a PDF of it. Okay. And then that way you can kind of take it with you throughout the day, okay? Okay. So let's walk through this really quickly to make sure we're just all on the same page. So the first page, we're gonna skip that for now. I'll let you look at that later, but pretty much I'm just re-summarizing what's already on your contract, what's already on your invoice. One of the reasons I kind of started doing this in the first place is because all of my clients' vendor contracts look completely different. So it's hard. I was like, let me think of a way to standardize it so that my clients know what they're reading every single time. So I look through y'all's contracts and then just put the information in there. Okay. And then she has already read this. She has approved this. So she's good with everything on here. Okay. Okay, so she's aware of when everything is due. So on page 2, this is just kind of helpful for you to look at the basic photography timeline to kind of see how the day goes. Okay. So anything that's highlighted, the times that are highlighted in yellow on the left-hand side for the pre-event time are actual specific sessions of things and shots that they want to capture, okay? So I put all of her times on the left-hand side. His times are on the right-hand side, and you kind of know where they are, what they're doing. So if you have any extra time or you want to capture something, you know where they are and what they're doing. Okay. So just feel free to move around and do what you need to do that day. So on page 4, for the ceremony portion, from 4 to 4:30, I give you a breakdown of sort of the order in which everyone is going to be coming out so that you can sort of be prepared to know, okay, if someone's coming from this way, I need to move because you know, we've got people coming in from different entrances.
Okay.
So I've got that on there, and I'll also provide you with a layout of the room so that you also sort of know where action is going to be taking place.
Okay.
Okay. And then for post-ceremony photography, we may or may not really have to do this because if we're super efficient, everybody is on time, we may not even have to do any additional group photos at the altar. But I just felt like let's just leave the time in there
Yeah.
if we missed anything or we need to do anything.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to provide you with a shot list with the names of the people. Also, I forgot to mention this, that you will be assigned an attendant who maybe one or two that will be with you by your side, so you don't have to carry all this paper. You can keep it in your phone if you want to,
Okay.
but there's literally a person next to you from our staff that's going to say, okay, this is next. Let me move these people here for you so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
And you could just be creative.
Sounds
All
good.
right. I also, as an FYI, I went ahead and looked up the golden hour, sunset, twilight time, so you just kind of have an awareness of what your lighting is going to be like and if you need to bring any additional equipment, depending on how this matches. I've got attachments on here that'll help you sort of follow along throughout the day, but don't stress I know this is a lot of information. This is a lot. This is a lot of information, but it's more so for you to study in advance, but we will have people right by your side to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So with that being said, I always like to say on the actual day of, we are like strangers in the night. We're like, hey, Brittany, how's it going, right?
Yeah.
So I like to sort of talk all this stuff through in advance so that on the actual day of, if we have quick questions, we can get them answered, and I don't ever want you to be waiting on me if I'm moving around and doing stuff.
Okay.
So after the wedding is done, you're gonna take the digital images, you're gonna edit them. About how long or should we expect to get those images back? I'm assuming it's in a gallery for them to preview before they order what they want.
Yes, so I usually send a sneak peek about a week after the wedding.
Okay.
That way they don't have to wait the full 10 weeks to receive their full gallery to kind of see some of the exciting moments of their wedding day.
Yeah.
I usually choose about 2 to 3 images of each moment of the day to send in a sneak peek.
Okay.
And they can share, they can download, it comes in their personalized gallery.
Oh, wow.
They can download the high resolution images for print or
Okay.
the web images if they just want to post on social media or put on a website somewhere.
Okay.
And then they'll get their full gallery within 10 weeks of their wedding day.
Perfect. And how long is that gallery open? Because I understand that you guys have a sort of limitation on how long because of the size, the sheer magnitude of the size of those digital files. How long can you keep that for them?
Sure. So their link stays active for a year.
Okay.
And about 2 weeks before that year approaches, I'll
Okay.
send a reminder to everyone that's registered to the gallery that the gallery is going to expire in about 2 weeks and to
Okay.
go ahead and make sure that they have all of their images downloaded.
Okay, perfect. Was there anything when we went over this, was there anything that stood out to you or anything that you feel like wasn't enough time? And I know it's a lot in a short time period, but take some time, look over it. But if you think of anything.
It's super detailed. It actually
Okay.
helps me a lot because I send out a questionnaire 60 days before the wedding day.
Okay.
So every question that I have, you've outlined here is perfect. Even the formals list, because not every planner, worries about the formal list for a
Okay.
family and all that. So that's
Okay.
all here. It's super detailed. It helps me out a lot.
So this gives you exactly what you need. And I looked at my calendar, we are 3 weeks out.
Yes.
So that still gives you enough time to update your questionnaire and get yourself organized for the day.
Perfect. And what I'll do is I'll send over just a photography timeline so you know exactly what I'm going to be shooting at what time. I know it's super detailed here, but just
Okay.
so I can kind of make the meat and potatoes for photography.
Okay.
I'll send that over to you, and it just has everything that I'm going to
Okay.
be doing and exactly what time.
Okay, so I think we're good to go.
Okay,
All
sounds
right,
good.
sounds good.
Yay. I'm going to be doing portraits as well as some detail shots. So I'm going to take my 35 lens, my 50 for portraits, 24 to 70 just in case I need some wide shots, and 85 for that really, really good tight shot during portraits. And batteries, plenty of those. Take extras just in case one dies. Make sure they're fully charged with my charger and XD cards. Super important. Make sure everything It's being recorded in the camera. Make sure both are filled with the SD slots and are formatted. Perfect. And we need flashes for the reception. Take 2 just in case, you never know. So MagMod is on there to bounce off light. Second flash and battery charger for the flash. And then we also need, just in case my lens gets dirty, to clean that. I also need to make sure I have the timeline and their formals lists printed, which I have. We have everything out from a checklist. Let's get hacked away. So starting with my lenses first. Put those away. And then my camera bodies. Get those packed. And my flashes. Put this one here. It's my SD card, super important. And both chargers.
In a second.
I thought I ain't supposed to see the bride.
No, we have discussed this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.